Hello and welcome to PlayStation Unchained. So someday I'll get a title for this episode. But for now, we've got some guests as we talk about video game news, reviews and all that stuff and words. We've got Gary with us this week. Hey Gary.
Gary's here.
Hey, Gary's here to save the day. Go Gary.
Ka-ching, ka-ching.
That could be your new theme.
Yes. I like saving the day.
Yeah. How was your day? Now that
My day's pretty good. My day's pretty good.
Have you had a good week? Have you been playing the video games?
I have been playing the video games. I've been playing one of my favorite video games actually this year.
Dragon Quest.
Which,
I'm guessing.
no, that's already come and gone. It's another one that I can't talk about. Sorry.
Though I did see the tweet that you're going to play the Fallouts.
Yes, I will be playing Fallout 76 next week at an event that I can't tell you when or where, but I can tell you that I will be playing it.
It sure does exist, and it is in some location that you'll be at. That's all we need to know.
Yes, if I make it there. I
sure
got like
you
a billion stops to make.
Is one of them Scarborough?
Sure. They're going to fly me from Utah to England and then from England back to America to the event.
Well, you know, it might have been cheaper.
Oh, my God.
Like the guy that went to... I can't remember what it was. I read the story where he flew to, like, Spain because it was cheaper for him to fly there and then come back than take the train.
Oh, my God.
Good
Yeah, I hear
times.
trains in Europe are kind of pricey, which is just baffling to me. I don't get
A
it.
train to the airport here is like £100.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
A train to London is about 140.
I've seen Eurotrip, and I want to take a train, but, you know...
Europe, I'm
If
sure
it's
it's not
these kind
bad.
of
It's just
prices.
England. England sucks.
Yeah, I wanted to ride on the Orient Express, and then I saw the prices for it, and I'm like...
$1 billion.
Is that like a... That's pretty much a rich man's train. Like, no normal person can afford that thing.
Well, thank
See,
God
we
that people
have-
that ride it are magic.
See, we have way different priorities. See, after I saw Eurotrip, I just wanted to find the Vondersex Club that Lucy Lawless was working at. That was my goal.
And that's the sexy sounds of Chris right there.
Oh, I'm so glad to be back. It's
We
so
missed you.
nice.
I bet
missed
you were
guys,
sat there
too.
every Sunday night talking to yourself for about an hour and a half because you're like, man, this is the podcast time. I'll just start responding to someone that doesn't exist.
You know, the last few weeks, I pretty much was left in a pile, curled up, fetal position, sobbing on the floor, talking to myself. Yeah, it hasn't been a great last few weeks, but
Well,
you
thank
know,
God you're
I'm
here to
back
do
in it.
exactly
I
the same
am.
thing, but with headphones.
Yes, I'm so glad to be back. How are you?
I'm not too bad, thank you.
That's good.
Have you
That's
been playing the video games?
A little bit, yeah. Like, kind
That's
of.
enough for me.
Yeah, I've been playing
tips.
Neo.
Neo.
Just the tips, Neo, and it's such a beautiful. When I have time to play, that's what I play.
And he's been
So-
away for the longest time. Some would say too long. Others say, still not, still too long. It's Neil.
Yeah, why the fuck he back? I'm just kidding.
Hey, man.
Oh, I am back from those.
Sweet, now I can go. He can host. Bye. See you next week.
I missed you so much. Here you go.
Circus music is our outro music now. Is that it?
How have you been this week with your new job?
Actually,
Well, not new, is it now? With your job.
It's I'm ingrained in it now. It's
Oh.
like coming back, having been abducted, and come back here, and it's like I don't remember this house the same as it was. That coffee cup's in the wrong place, and Chris is wearing far too many clothes.
I know, Chris wearing clothes. It took us a while to get that far.
Honestly, today I am wearing more now than I ever have on any podcast since I've been doing this.
There you
I have
go.
a
There's
shirt on.
some Patreon exclusive rewards right there.
No, the Patreon exclusive reward is a video of me live streaming. That's the exclusive reward.
No, but then what the hell? The top tier reward is me doing private live streams of Commander Cherry.
I thought it was the video from the PlayStation Eye that Sony recorded of you trying to calibrate it.
Anyway, Neil, what's up?
I just wandered in, and
Yeah.
came to say hello.
Yay!
Yeah, I've got to check in with you guys occasionally,
Make sure
sit
we're
and
alive and sane.
Whip it back. It's nice to come. Yeah, because obviously I've heard you guys anyway, but as I was saying earlier, it's not very weird for me to not hear your voice, but listening to you guys on the podcast, and of course being so familiar with the way everyone talks and does stuff, and I found myself wanting to interject in moments of silence and damn, yeah, this is a.
I've been doing
I was on it for so long. I didn't listen to it because I don't really want to listen to myself. So it's like then when everyone else, it's just like being in the background of the anime podcast and getting drunk, being drunk and chiming occasionally.
But to be fair, that's why I don't listen to the podcast, because I'm always sat there when I listen to any podcast. If I hear something wrong, especially if I'm normally on it, I'm like, no, that's not it. This is it. And then I realise 5 seconds later, oh yeah, they can't hear me. Okay.
I can't listen to myself either. Doing podcast, I just can't. Like any of the podcasts I've been on, I haven't listened to myself. I just can't hear my nasally voice.
Yeah,
But
you
that's
sound like Bob.
self-esteeming. I know I do.
can't hear my voice either. I'm like, oh god, why would anyone want to listen to this for 5 seconds, let alone a podcast?
So it's totally doing something.
Yay. You sure are.
We bring loads of personality. It makes up for our our lack of charisma.
Charisma, sex appeal.
Well, Gary's got enough sex appeal for the whole show.
Yeah.
I will take that as a compliment. Thank you.
Yes.
I think we should go to the news now. I think because
But my sex appeal.
your sex appeal can wait until we do your game later. Oh, hiccups.
Oh, okay.
Because
Save it up.
we've got a new game. I don't know if you heard last week's podcast, Neil, but we've got a new game.
So far, so I didn't hear the end. So yeah,
Ooh.
I have a surprise at least now. So that's cool.
How about a surprise like this? Did you know that the Fallout 76 beta starts in October? I heard the 23rd on Xbox and then the 30th on PS4 and PC. And if you pre-order, you get into the beta. Did you know that?
Novel. That's a really novel thing to do. Imagine that.
Test your game a week before it comes out.
Yeah.
Especially one that's not only made by Bethesda, but probably has all the problems that come with every single game that they release initially. And so also it's massively multiplayer, so have fun with that.
I like the fact they admit that it's called the Break It Early test application, because you're gonna break it anyway because it's a Bethesda game, but this time you get to break it a little earlier than normal.
It makes, the acronym is now Beta, not Beta. If it's break it, so they can't even get that right. They can't even get acronyms right.
Beta. Oh, the beta. Beta.
It's like South African saying better.
Sounds like a great chocolate bar to me, though. Beta.
I give Bethesda all the props because they're pretty much embracing the fact that everybody knows that their games are released completely broken.
Yeah.
And they're just embracing that.
Well, it's like them embracing Skyrim. It was like, yeah, if you keep buying it, we'll keep making it, so...
Yeah,
Skyrim
they even
on
made
Alexa.
they made an advertisement commercial of it, making
That's
fun of
weird,
themselves, which was hilarious. I thought it was great.
have. Elder Scrolls Online, just being a massively multiplayer online game, runs really well online.
Yeah.
It's like, maybe that's their niche. If they put it online, it'd be fine.
Yeah.
Imagine it. Imagine the least buggy Fallout is an online multiplayer game.
Imagine if it works.
But I've pre-ordered to get the beta. Have you guys pre-ordered to get your beta, except for Gary, who gets to play it early, you bastard?
I'll probably get to play what you're going
not
to
yet.
play. Just a rougher version of it, probably.
Well, they've already
You know,
started private betas already. Well, soon. The private betas start October 3rd, I think, where a select few will be invited, and they're under NDA.
Yeah,
So.
and see, my general opinion on pre-orders is I don't do them. Don't do them. So I'm not. I don't know. I haven't even had the money lately to do it to like go and get the pre-order, even though I am tempted on this one.
I pre-ordered it.
So I don't know. So, I mean, since you guys are getting it, and I know I'll be able to play with you guys at least a little bit. I don't know for how long, depending on how good the game is, but I'm a huge Fallout fan anyway, so I'm probably going to get it anyways, even after I miss out on the beta.
I'm not going to buy it day one. The only reason why I pre-ordered is because all beta progress you make, it transfers to the retail game.
Mm-hmm.
Which I still think is a little bullshit. So, especially
Early
for
advantage.
Xbox owners, they're going to get, 3 weeks advantage? 2
Yeah,
weeks.
they get to become beaters.
Yeah, the biters. The biters,
The
eh?
beta. The biters.
Biters.
The biters. They're the beta cheaters. The bitas, like in Sword Art Online. That's what they'll be.
Um,
And some of them will be master biters.
Wrong podcast, but there we go.
I haven't been on so long. It's just kind of overflowing. So it's like a pressure cooker, and the steam has been on. The lock has been on. And I'm kind of letting the steam gauge out here before the anime.
Well, I'm sure this week's anime will have quite a bit of unleashed loads. I think.
Oh, you have no idea.
And I deserve one of those for that.
In the universe.
Beta comes out sometime, and it's 45 gigabytes because it's probably the whole game. It probably is the entire game.
Well, they said the beta is going to be the entire game.
So basically, pre-order your game, enjoy your few weeks, and then don't buy it because you played it.
Yeah, as far as I remember, I think they said that the beta is going to be like the full game. Like everything is going to be accessible. They're not locking anything in the beta.
That just sounds stupid to me.
That's how a lot of those downloadable games work. Remember, you'll download it for like the demo for free, and then you buy the game, and you downloaded the whole game anyway, but you just unlock it.
But normally you have to purchase the full game before you can do that.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I think it's the same thing, and I think they're just they'll do something.
I went into Game and paid £5 to pre-order it, and then I got the code. So
at least it's not as bad as buying the disc with the DLC locked on the disc that you just bought.
Wow, that's true.
Oh, Street Fighter.
Oh, Destiny 1, 2, and probably 3.
Probably 3.
Probably.
That's awesome.
You go get to Destiny 3 at this rate. But,
No, we won't because they got a new IP, haven't they?
which is basically going to be Destiny 3, but different name.
It's going to take place in medieval times.
Halostiny. Halostiny.
What else is happening anyway?
Oh, there's some other stuff. There's did you know that Justice League is getting possibly a video game? And it's going to be done by Rocksteady. That famous studio for making Turtles in Time, I think.
What?
What? Turtles in Time? Genesis game? Oh my god.
It says it's rumored to have Starro as the main villain. Now, I don't know who Starro is, but I hope not.
Okay. I could believe everything that's been said, that they might be working on a Justice League game. Yeah. It's probably going to be a PlayStation 5 game. All that I can believe. But when they start saying that Starro is going to be the main villain, that's where I believe the rumor is bullshit.
In 2019, that's bullshit.
Yeah. If you want to know what Starro is, it's pretty much a giant fucking...
Okay, so let's picture it's right there.
R from space.
It's a starfish from space. What? With a target on his face.
A starfish. It's a giant starfish that lives in space.
Space fish. I hope this is the main villain now. I really do.
Well, he doesn't have any minions. It's just a him. Like, what is the point?
Well, starfish can, recover if their limbs are chopped, so maybe he gets the new superpower, makes a clone army of himself by chopping off limbs.
And what are they, just giant tentacles walking around raping people?
Whoa.
I mean, that's the game Chris would make, so...
I have no objections if that's the way that it's going. I'm curious to see how the devs will implement the gameplay aspects of the finer nuances of tentacle rape. But overall, I'm interested to see. Yeah, it sounds like it'll be a lot of fun. What game are we talking about? I completely spaced off.
The game where Batman fights tentacles.
Oh, that one. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, the new Superman game that Gary's never going to see. But he...
I hate you. I hate you so much.
Hey, I can't say anything. I would love it if Rocksteady did an awesome Superman game. I really would. I like Superman. I always have. I grew up my brother reading Superman comic books, and I get to read his comic books. I remember I cried at the death of Superman. I remember he got that the day that it came out. So yes, Gary, I am fully on board with a good Superman game, if ever there can be one.
Yeah, but yeah, this rumor it came from 4chan, which already diminishes its credibility drastically. But yeah, apparently you play the characters Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Cyborg, Green Lantern. And it's already way too many characters for them to... I mean, it just feels like Batman Arkham Knight to character, and yeah, they added the Batmobile, so they made it a little more open that way. But to go from that and just straight up do a 6-character, pick one of 6 characters, have co-op in it, 5 worlds, I think that's it, or 5 cities it's gonna have. Metropolis, Central City, and they're all gonna be bigger than Arkham Knight's world. I'm just there's no fucking way. This rumor to me is 100% bullshit.
It's recycling the same news over and over again. It's just in different ways. Every story we hear is basically the same stories told a different way. Point where it's Rocksteady really just need to say something so we can end
They
this.
really do.
They're probably enjoying this.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna deny that if they are doing another DC Comics game, that the Justice League might be in there, but I'm pretty sure it's just gonna focus on 1, maybe 2 characters max. There's no way they're gonna focus on all of them and let you go to each of their cities and do all this crazy shit in an open world with co-op.
You know what would be awesome though? Is if we got a Justice League game like, what was it, Marvel?
Ultimate Alliance?
Shoot. Was it Ultimate Alliance where you do the co-op?
We got one.
Down that we played? They made one like that? Which one was that?
I think it was Justice League Heroes. It was on the PSP and the PS2.
I didn't play either of them, but that's a game that I would like to play again. Couch co-op or online co-op. You team up. You got it's the dungeon crawler RPG, but with DC characters. Marvel Ultimate Alliance was a lot of fun.
So what you're saying is we're back to Turtles in Time.
We're back to Turtles in Time. We're never going to get beyond it at this point. Oh, there it is. Justice League Heroes. By Snowblind Studios. There you go.
4chan has been huffing glue DC Universe Online, and somehow had a weird dream that they actually saw the new Rocksteady game, and because everything you said in that news story sounds pretty much like DC Universe Online. It's like all those cities, all those heroes, they're all in it. Blah blah blah. Yeah. I think that's more.
It's a stupid step for a Rocksteady to take from Batman, where it's just one character, to 6 fucking Justice League characters.
It's been playing
world.
from people who love Asylum is that the games kept getting bigger, and rather than smaller amount of stuff, which you can agree to disagree on that. Arkham City did it all right. Maybe it was a bit much in Night, but you don't want to go bigger and bigger and bigger. Thing and Ubisoft have make a killing doing that, but come on. Yeah.
And quite honestly, Superman is pretty much the second to biggest you're going to get. I mean, unless you're going to do a Green Lantern where he travels through space and goes to different planets.
And
Superman
can do Green Lantern right, because that's impossible.
Green Lantern is very hard to do, because
I mean, the whole
how do
point
you
of
make
his-
a game where you are supposed to be able to make whatever fucking weapon you want?
The
Now,
only
I know
way
that
they
we've
could do it is
discussed this,
make
Gary.
what if they make a spin-off of Drawn to Life, but with Green Lantern?
No, I like
Scribble
that
knots.
idea too. Yes,
Scribble knots will work
that
too.
would be cute. That would be a cute, fun green. If you have like a cheapy Green Lantern or something,
Yeah.
that'd be adorable. Don't forget, Gary, we had that awesome God of War Green Lantern clone that apparently only you and I like. Everybody else hated, but that was.
What, on the PS3, the movie one?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the Green. It was a good one.
Can I say it wasn't good, but I could play it.
Yeah, I'll give you that. It wasn't great. It wasn't even good, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
It was fun with co-op.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I played it as well. So, because I actually didn't mind the movie.
Neither did I. You give me anything with Ryan Reynolds in it, and I'll watch it. I love Ryan. I almost said something else, but that's just because of my own personal agenda for Ryan Reynolds. If I ever get a hold
If I
of
had
him.
the choice, I would love for it to have seen a sequel, because I feel like a sequel would have got the wrong parts right. You always screw up the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Unless you
maybe we'll
Deadpool.
get one. Well, yeah, maybe we'll get one because of the success of Deadpool. You never know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyone else got any opinions on this topic?
Nah, I think we spent too much time on it.
Here's us getting angry at speculation and talking about it for 30 minutes. It's fun.
Well, you know what I'm going to get angry about? And full of rage is the PS Plus games have been announced for October. And compared to what was leaked, these are shite. I mean, the last one listed like Sniper Elite, and then before that it was Diablo and Neo.
Yeah.
Neo.
Neil.
You were gonna be free on Plus, man. Everybody was gonna experience you, and now we can't.
And instead we're getting Laser League, which I've never heard of. Knowledge is Power, which I thought was already free. Master Reboot, which is on the PS3, so, that'll be the first time anyone turns it on for a while. That's what she said. The Bridge, which is also on PS4, by the way. Rocket Birds 2 Evolution, which I've never heard of Rocket Birds 1, so that's on Vita and PS4. And then 2064, because we've skipped all the other games. Read Only Memories PS4, and Friday the 13th, the video game, which, from what I heard, is not getting any updates or DLCs. So please.
Well, that could yet change, I have to say, because this week there's been a big move in the legal case that has kept the license problems going on, and the original owner may get back. So he had no intention of making the game stop himself. It was just a side effect of that legal proceedings that meant they couldn't do anything more. But he may let them continue once he's won the case.
That's Neil from bloodydisgusting.com. Go check them out. The
Yeah,
best
we gotta
site for
start.
your horror and horror stuff.
The number one horror news website, I think. Are
Yes.
they? I think they are, right, Neil?
They are now. We've said it.
Yeah, that's official. I didn't say it, but you can say that. No, that's fine.
Yeah.
I
I
can
mean, if you
because
say
you
it's
were
not
there.
official because we're not part of your website, therefore we're the ones outside voting. Therefore, we can say it's number one horror site on the webs.
Yeah.
It is to me.
Horror
love
site
that
I
site.
work for. Sure.
Outside of one problem I have with that site, everything else is fantastic about it.
Ooh, do tell. Neil is here for all your questions and concerns as a representative.
It's nothing
Electronics.com.
major. It's a thing where if I go to like page 2, right, of their news section, and I click on an article, and then I hit back, it takes me all the way back to the first page and the front page.
Yeah.
So I have to scroll all the way back down and keep going to page 2, and it just irritates me.
better views,
There's quite
though.
a few at that problem.
Please take this complaint to your managers, Neil. Let them know that this is a concern that needs to
I
be
mean,
addressed.
I mean, it'll be
But
the
that's
best
it. Everything
horror,
else I love.
it'll be the best horror site until officially Article 13 passes, and then that'll be the best horror site.
Oh my god. I love it so much.
But back to video
Yeah,
games.
video games.
Yes, but the PS Plus game.
Yeah, PS Plus games,
That-
October 2018. So yeah,
I'm okay with the games. Like I already have Razor League. I haven't played it yet. Steven says it's fantastic because he reviewed it. So I do want to play it. But as far as Friday the 13th goes, like you, my concern was, we're not getting it, so it's pretty much, it is what it is. But that's also fine because,
Before that, they got
played
stopped.
games for a very long time. But I've always been intrigued by the idea of, one person's the killer and everybody else is trying to survive.
oh, so
and I've
you're the
always
one who
wanted
bought the one copy of Evolve that was sold.
God. No, I've always wanted to play Friday the 13th, and now I'll get a chance. I know it's not the first game to do this concept. I think it was, what was it?
Evolve.
Dead by Daylight? Dead by
Yeah.
Daylight, I believe it was. Did it as well, and they have Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger in their game. This one is just Friday the 13th, but I'm really sad because I really wanted that game to go through all the Friday the 13th games. In particular, I wanted Jason X because
Yes.
I wanted it to play in space.
In his like super nano created metal armor, and he's like truly invincible. Hell yeah.
Yeah. And
I didn't know there was a Terminator crossover. Halloween.
Yeah, Jason X, dude, it's awesome. He gets all super powered with with future technology. It's great.
Yeah, and like I said, I've always been interested to see where they would go with that franchise. Like, will they touch on Freddy versus Jason at one point? Will they do what was the supposedly was supposed to be the reboot? I was always to see what kind of DLC they'd be able to go with and continue to add to the game. And right now, unfortunately, it's not happening. Hopefully, in the future, it will, but server's alive, so that's good, and they will continue to patch the game. They just released dedicated servers for it, so that's really cool. So they still give a shit about the game. It's just unfortunate that update the game with content.
In that regard, they'll do what they can, but until it gets sorted out, they can't do anything else. But yeah, they've done enough that it's not.
But in a way, I feel like the push to put it on Plus is them needing to make money, and I think after the news,
Well, not just.
I think
money,
after
it's
the
just it'll
news
help
broke,
with it'll help with the player base as well.
yeah, I just feel like after the news broke that they can't, update the game with content anymore, that it killed a lot of people's drive to continue to play it because they won't get anything else from it.
Well, it's true. What's the point of playing the game that you're not going to get any?
Still can unlock stuff. It depends on how much you played beforehand.
Yeah.
Anyone new coming in still has a bunch of stuff to unlock and play and do fun. And it's a much smoother game than it was. Much. because it was a trash fire when it came out. It was in a horrible state, which was a shame because the base of it was there, and it was the core of that game is so much better than Dead by Daylight. So much time to improve. It's had such rotten luck as it's
Dead
gone
by
through.
Daylight has such lag issues as well. Especially with my mate, because his internet's not great. So when it makes him host, and he's playing like which one? There's one that has teleport powers. It's almost
the
impossible.
race, I think, or whatever
Yeah,
it is.
it's almost impossible to dodge him because he'll lag, teleport to you, then lag again, then teleport to you, and then lag again. And you're rumba banding while trying to run away. It's like, yay, fun. This is
Too little, too late, maybe.
You know what? Let's continue our Halloween talk with some spooky news. I think this is more spookier than Friday 13th. Did you know that Dragon Ball Fighters is getting a Halloween update?
Oh my god!
I did pause there for dramatic effect. Yeah, you can get spooky outfits and stickers.
Beerus in a pumpkin hat. Beerus in a pumpkin hat.
I
That's
know.
all. That's all you need to know.
You
It's
can get
so
Dracula
cute.
Vegeta and Werewolf Goku.
Werewolf Goku.
Yeah, Werewolf
And
Goku.
Witch Kid Buu. This is also adorable. And Mummy Cell.
We should mention these are for the avatars and not for in-game costumes that you used to
And
fight.
stickers as well, I think. The stickers.
And stickers.
Doesn't that not? That practically writes itself. Pumpkin spice Beerus.
Yeah.
That's it.
So base.
I mean, I like it, but I think they should have let you put costumes on the characters as well.
Imagine
During
the
the
amount
fights.
of time and effort they'd have to do that. They would charge for it.
Capcom's been doing it with Street Fighter characters like forever.
Yeah, but see, Arxis is trying to be better than Capcom. They already know they make better
Yeah.
fighting games than Capcom. Now they just have to be more ethical, and they'll be number one. Right
the-
behind NetherRealm.
Now, hold
Tekken.
on. Street Fighter V has become a fantastic fighter. It only took them 2 years, though,
Yeah.
but they did it.
No, wait,
After
wait,
they
wait,
lost.
wait, wait, wait. Okay, yes for Street Fighter V, but let us not forget Capcom's history of generally not being so pleasing to gamers and how they release things.
But Gary, from what I
So
heard,
it's not just 2 years.
Gary, from what I heard about how the characters are made for Arc Systems, each time even if it's a different color change, it's a whole new model.
Jesus.
You know,
Has to be because,
Yeah.
well, they're using different textures on the different models. And they probably have to load those up. They don't have a way that it just changes it like in game. Of course, they're using the Unreal Engine, so they should be able to. I know that you can.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think they can. They're just
Well, no, I
making
heard
it
it's
harder
just
on
the way
themselves.
the way they make the games.
Yeah, probably the way they rig it and everything like that. I know base knowledge of how to use the Unreal Engine. Maybe a little better than base. But I'm sure that whatever way they're doing it, it ended up at the end being like, all right, with everything else, this is how we have to do this. That's usually how it goes by the time you reach the end of the project. And, well, okay, this will have to work. So, who knows? Still a great fighting game, though. If you're still playing like I am,
I just need to go back to it. I haven't played it since the season pass stuff started.
By the way, just quick off topic. Neo, is Sagat available in Street Fighter V yet?
It was the last one, I think.
Yeah, it was
If
like,
he is, it's about time I bought that game.
wasn't he
what
like
you're
the
waiting for.
one of the first of the new season pass?
I thought he was supposed to be the second character, so I don't know if he's out yet.
I remember seeing him announced for it, so I don't know if he's in it yet.
I don't know.
But,
You know what? Might know Google. But I'm
what?
not gonna do it.
You know, Ben, here's the dilemma, and this is a dilemma I feel all of us in our generation face. I'm sitting at the computer, and I could use Google, but I'm actually turned 45 degrees to the left, and it would be a real ton of extra effort for me to turn and face the keyboard, so I'm just not up for it right now. whoever's in a slightly better position to do this, I think you could.
Well, I'm recording the podcast, so...
I should have known this because one of the last things I wrote for PSU was about him being available.
All those eons ago.
Back on August 6th, he was made available, along with that Abraham Lincoln looking motherfucker.
August 6th?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I got to start looking for Street Fighter on sale.
That shouldn't be hard.
Well,
That's
that's the
what
problem
Street
is
Check the bargain bin at
the
your
base
local
game
Costco.
will be on sale, but I want...
You want the one
See,
with
this is when I miss Capcom releasing the game 6 times.
Well, Gary,
Hated it.
The
why don't
ultimate
you
version.
buy the... Gary, why don't you buy the base game and then play a bit and then get it for free by using fight monies?
You can't get the characters with fight money, can you?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not fun to do so, but
Well, he's the only character I want to get, so...
Yeah, you can
Wasn't
buy
it something stupid like they were 30,000 each, and you got like 10 per online match? Or
Yeah,
something
but you
crazy
get
like
a
that.
lot for beating the story mode, so...
Mm.
if Arcade Edition comes with most of the characters up front anyway, so
Yeah.
you
So
just have to
you
get the
could
last.
just do buy the arcade, then grind enough to buy Sagat because you don't care about all the others. That'll save you some money.
See, Sagat is one of those characters where he's been there since the first game, and to make him DLC just bothered the hell out of me. It's like Injustice without Batman, to me.
Well, that'd be
So
impossible
you're
because
making a
that'd be-
DC fighting game
Mortal
and not putting
Kombat.
Batman in it.
Mortal Kombat without Scorpion. That's they're iconic characters of the series. That they're even Scorpion became NetherRealm's mascot.
Fine then,
Now, on the
Dragon
logo.
Ball without Goku.
Gary,
There you go. Yes.
Arcade Edition has the Season 3 character pass because Sakura, Blanca, Falk and Cody are in that, and I've got them. So and G and Sagat are part of that. So if you get Arcade Edition, he'll be there anyway.
Nice.
Let's see. Street Fighter V Arcade Edition. Sorry, continue on with the podcast.
No, this is
I
Gary's
exciting.
went
gonna go
off topic.
buy something.
I want to know.
Yeah.
We've got to find out. It's an important part of the podcast.
Oh my god.
Anyway, I think that'll be good for news. I think we've done enough news.
Are you sure?
What
Is
other
there not?
news was there?
I think there's one more important.
There's
news.
one where like you get to play with other people that people really like. I don't know.
Yeah, it
Well,
is a
it's
small.
covered Fallout.
Oh my god.
Beautiful.
Uh,
No. So this is confirmed that it's true, right? 'Cause this is
Yes.
I'm
pretty
confused.
big.
This is
Okay. Fortnite. Sony
Oh
rather
yeah,
has
the
announced.
the
that
PSU
they
announced
prepare-
crossplay.
The PSU announced crossplay. But folks, I said that PSU had announced that they bought Fortnite or allowing crossplay. with
Holy
Fortnite
shit! No
earlier
wonder we don't have any
before
money. We
before
bought
the
Fortnite.
discussion, and no, Sony and PlayStation are now allowing crossplay for Fortnite. Woo!
It's
in
Everybody's
beta.
happy.
it's in beta right
Yeah.
now.
but other games are going to be included at a later date.
Yeah.
It seems what they're saying.
Like maybe Fantasy 14. Yay!
Well, that would mean they'd have to release the full game on Xbox.
Yeah, which they've said they've wanted to, but they've been having trouble with Microsoft to get on there because Microsoft wants, they want the option for them to play on their own servers, and Yoshi's like, no, you can't have that.
That will probably be a bone of contention when they obviously Microsoft went on about we want Minecraft to be able to come onto the PS4 crossplay. It's like why that's them pushing it again. They're like, okay, well, we've made them relent to this. Now we can make them relent to having people playing and having to subscribe to Xbox
Yeah, because they want
Live.
Yeah, they want them to make Microsoft accounts if they want to play Minecraft on PS4.
The statement that Sony put out pretty much said that we've been investigating this for months. When people were just screaming and spitting their dummies out about it's arrogant Sony again, it's arrogant Sony, they're going to crash and burn. It was like this would be the same arrogant Sony that's just turned around and done everything that everyone said they wouldn't do the last few weeks. sometimes these things take time, especially when you're shifting from something you've done for a long time and you're not in a position of desperation that made you do it in the first place.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They have a
So
heritage.
Sony's playing the smart businessman right here. They're not just doing it to piss gamers off. They're doing what they need to do to make sure that them and their customers aren't getting a raw deal and letting another competitor control the landscape of something that obviously everybody wants.
And not even just that, but how many Xboxes have been sold? We have no idea, do we?
Roughly around 40 million.
Okay, then the last time you had the PS4 was what? 70?
82.
82 million. Now, let's just say Sony's like, oh my god, Microsoft, sure, why not? I'll let you fund them the balls, and I'll let you have Xbox accounts. That just then boosted their numbers by another 80 million. Or, well, let's just be generous and 40 million. Because, maybe 40 million of PS4 owners own an Xbox for some reason. Then Xbox then technically has the market share for online accounts. Because they can go, oh look, yeah, PS4 has 80 million consoles, but we have 120 million subscribers.
See, what the smart thing about this is now is not put the ball back in Microsoft court. They put it back in the courts of the big developers, because they'll be the first ones where fans will go, well, why can't we have this game being cross-play? Yeah. And the answer is quite obviously money, because whereas the other company, Microsoft and Sony are making consoles, and they need people to sort of pander to in that regard. Yeah. And developers do not need that, and they will they make more money off of having these separate things and having different versions and driving competitive play like that. So you won't see.
It's much better to have 3 individual purchases than one that shares.
Exactly. It's like, it's just not going to work with a lot of things, and so.
And also,
the amount of times that people have had to rebuy games that they've already bought years ago. I think people are complaining in the end about money that will cost them about having multiple accounts, but we've been doing it for years anyways.
Yeah. And all those that suggested that Destiny should be on crossplay, good luck, mate.
It is.
It's physically impossible because of the year exclusivity with PlayStation. What happens when you load up with a gun that's exclusive to PlayStation? Does he just have no gun, and you just see his arm going pew pew, and he's naked because the PlayStation armor was exclusive?
I think that's totally worth doing crossplay for. If he's using this gun with pew pew sounds, I'm buying the shit out of that.
And he's naked.
Some cross-pay cosplay.
No, he has to be naked because the armor's exclusive to PlayStation. So
that's cosplay, in my opinion.
He's naked and he just shouts out pew pew as he jumps around corners.
So Dead Space. Dead Space 2. And the foam finger gun.
Oh, man.
I've just fixed Destiny 2's crossplay.
There you go.
I hope this will finally get people to stop bitching and moaning. Sure, it's only one game so far, but obviously more games will come. I'm pretty sure Rocket League will be the next one.
Yep.
That's been a big one, and we know that it works because the developers of Rocket League have said that it works because they've already tested it. So obviously, I think it's going to start off with a lot smaller titles, and then eventually, I think we'll get into probably like
smaller
Overwatch,
titles like Fortnite.
Isn't that crazy?
It's a free-to-play game.
Yeah.
And look how popular it is.
Oh, for those that are asking for
free-to-play
Warframe, again, no, that won't happen.
Sorry, that's a quality free-to-play game.
I wouldn't say never, Ben. You could never say never. I said I will never see...
because ever since Warframe came out, there's always about a month difference between the PC update to the console.
Well, that's fine. You just do console crossplay without PC. It's coming to Switch, so why not?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
It's going to be on the 3 major platforms now. But I think it's going to start off with a lot of the indie titles like Rocket League, and it's going to spread into the bigger ones. Yeah. And I don't think it's going to be long until we start seeing Elder Scrolls Online and
Call of Duty.
freaking. I don't know about Call of Duty yet.
No. Activision, they won't do it.
To me, I think the biggest problem with that is if you're going to do it, you'll have to do it simply between consoles. Because, in my opinion, I still feel like PC players have such a massive advantage in first-person shooters over console players.
Just a shame
that
nobody buys
it
Call of
just-
Duty on PC anyway, so it's fine.
But I could see them probably doing a Battlefield 5. But
I think Call of Duty might happen, but I think it'll be like they'll increase the price of the game to do it.
If they're gonna start charging me for something that was free to begin with, Activision can just burn in the most
calling
violent
it now
pits of
that
hell
like if
at
the
that
Call of
point.
Duty happens, it'll have crossplay for free. But if you want to play it on the different, if say you want to buy it for all the different consoles, there'll be like a bundle.
So they're
version.
putting it behind a paywall.
No,
You're putting a feature in game mode pretty much behind a paywall.
No, I'm saying that it'll be free to play it, but if you want to buy, you want to switch accounts, you have to buy it for the other console.
Oh God, no, thank
So
you.
I'm calling it like the Call of Duty Ultimate Experience.
That kind of makes sense in a way.
Yeah, you'll be able to cross-play, but if you want the player mod, yourself on them, you'll have to buy them. There'll be like £120 or whatever bundle where you get the Xbox, PC, PS4, and Switch digital license or whatever.
Oh, God.
I think,
Well, that's not. Okay. So if I'm paying for Gold and PS Plus, and just for the hell of it, PS Now and Switch, whatever, I'm already paying upwards of that every year. And if I want to buy a game for my PlayStation and buy the same game for the Xbox that released on multiple systems, I have to pay for both of those games full price anyways.
Yeah.
If they do it right, and if they can word it in a way so like people don't think they're getting ripped off, which they're not.
Well,
they're not,
people on Xbox are already getting ripped off because they have to pay to play Fortnite.
Yeah.
Because Microsoft doesn't allow free-to-play games to be played without an XBLA account.
That.
They also have to play Warframe, but Warframe's amazing, so it deserves it.
Yeah, so Xbox is really screwing their customers that way, where a free-to-play game they still technically have to pay for.
They always have been.
But I know those pesky Sony were the real evils recently,
Yeah, but as far as now, like I think with crossplay right now, I think Sony still could have waited. I think they could have just done it with the PS5. I don't think doing it for the PS4 this late in its life cycle is really that important right now, in my opinion. You have Fortnite, which is huge, but it's coming in the next couple of years. Like, who's going to be playing? People will still be playing it, but I think a lot of people will be moving on to the next systems. So you may as well have it enabled then.
Oh, I wonder if they'll be like, you can play Fortnite cross-play with PS4 and PS5.
Probably. I mean, it's going to be the same servers, I would imagine.
If you can play people who are on their phone, why not? Play PS.
Yeah, but I don't think we're going to see a lot of developers utilizing it right now, especially if they already have dev kits for the PS5 and they're already working on PlayStation 5 games. Like if say Overwatch comes to PS5, it's probably I'm pretty sure it will come to PS5, but it's probably going to come with crossplay. I think all the games that are going to start getting ported to the next generation of consoles are going to be ported with
crossplay.
With crossplay in mind, yeah. Like if you look at say like Diablo 3, it's coming out on the Switch, in December, I believe it is. And I'm pretty sure Blizzard will port that to as well.
By the way, I'm probably going to buy that to play.
It'll probably have crossplay.
Are you going to buy Diablo 3?
On the Switch, probably, yeah.
Yeah, because I pre-ordered my Switch, so.
There you go.
Isn't the future beautiful? The future of gaming. I see people outside
holding hands
with their virtual reality headsets on, drooling, on park benches because they're in their virtual reality wherever they're at,
With their
and we're all
waifu.
cross-playing on all these different games, and it's totally immersive. There's your future of gaming right there. Anybody can
And they
play
get
with
hit by a
anybody
bus
else
because
anywhere,
they're not
every
paying
time,
attention.
and they get hit by a bus. The stupid ones do. There's some natural selection for you.
But the
Like
best
the people
part
that
is
watch-
the person that driving the bus isn't driving the bus, but in fact playing bus
he's
simulator.
he's playing. This is so realistic. Oh, what was that? Hit some guy who was playing virtual walk across the street. I don't know.
The bus driver is playing bus simulator.
Yeah.
He's just like learning.
Well, no, he's like,
But the bus will be a self-driving bus
yeah.
in that future. So it all evens out.
The bus driver's like, I don't like this route. He puts in his bus simulator so he can like drive through like Los Angeles while driving, in London.
He's like driving through down the steps to your trans system. It's like something out of oh god, what's that old movie with Tom Arnold where they drive through the mall?
Yeah.
Do you remember that one, Gary? It's like an 80s movie. Tom
I
Arnold.
do
Oh my
not.
god, I'm dating myself here.
But yeah.
You're dating
I'll remember it later.
yourself?
Anyways,
Well, we
he
need
drives the family through a shopping mall. Like crashes through stuff. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm excited for people who want it. I personally don't care. I am not looking forward to playing with Xbox players because the last time I played on Xbox Live, it was a terrible experience for me.
I agree
By the
there.
way, I know we're not an Xbox podcast, but I do want to bring up that whole deal that they're doing in America, which I kind of hope they bring here because I'd be tempted to get an Xbox, really. Have you guys heard of they're doing a paid monthly thing? Yeah, to
Yes.
purchase your Xbox.
Yes.
You can pay $35 a month, and then you get your Xbox One X, and you got to pay for 2 years, so you pay a little bit more than what you would retail. But that $35 also includes your gold and your Game Pass. So, and consider the fact that every first-party game is included on Game Pass for free. I'd be tempted, actually. You know.
Did you guys see the memes when after
Oh
Sony
no,
announced
don't memes. We're in
their
England.
PS1?
Neil, close your ears. You might get arrested.
Gary, did you see the meme of like Microsoft announces the Xbox Classic, and somebody photoshopped an old Xbox into I think it's the mountains. One of the heavy weightlifting competitor. It's just a giant one. He's like doing the Atlas carry with it. Oh my god. I was cracking up. No, yeah, Microsoft is doing their whole, well, you can play all the classic games on our console for free now. Oh, you could do that anyway with PS Now. But hey.
Neil, you've been quiet on this topic. Please.
I've tried to talk, but
Sorry, Neil.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
We've all had a lot to say on it.
Yeah, as I was saying earlier, it put it away from Microsoft and Sony and back into the developers and the publishers, especially the big ones, as I said. Good in some ways, but like you said, I can only see it end up shafting the customer when it comes to, say, EA or Activision or even Warner Brothers, to be honest. If they have to have stuff that's cross-play, cross-generation stuff, then I may worry about it. What it will be good for, as we've also discussed, is the smaller dev teams, indie online games will have a better chance of flourishing. We just had Friday the 13th on Plus now. By having that crossplay between Xbox and PlayStation, that'd be great for that game. Mm-hmm. That's where it could help. Extra 40 million people means, I'd say it's probably an extra 20 million when you consider there's probably a whole bunch of people who've got both. And that will help the odd game out here and there. Between the game shutting and being, dead and buried like Lawbreakers. So, now 4 people can be playing Lawbreakers, and are still around. But
But there are only 4 people who played Lawbreakers anyways.
for all consoles, all together, it'd be great.
Oh, hey, it's Switch guy. Hey, PlayStation guy. Where's Xbox guy?
They can
Who's this
finally,
guy?
they can finally have a match.
Not anymore, because the servers are shut down. That game is as dead as dead.
Oh, by the way,
Was
Drawn
the-
to what you
Anyone
got?
in it?
The other game's dying soon, isn't it?
Drawn to death, yes.
Yeah.
I knew that was going to go anyway because the whole studio's gone pretty much. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's a shame. Yeah,
It was a good
But yeah.
game as well.
you've got to do something spectacular to be in that field now. It's like big publishers that understand that you can
Yeah.
online elements, but being a full-on competitive online game is hard.
Oh, more than half the battle is marketing alone.
Well, what's cool is with that game alone, like Drawn to Death, David Jaffe did a stream where he talked about the decision where Sony pretty much convinced them to make it a pay game, like you have to buy it, but release it on Plus first and get people to like invest in it that way. And then after that, it's buy-in. Like at first he wanted to make the game free to play, and then Sony convinced them not to. That led to the downfall of that game because he felt that if it was free to play, a lot more people would be playing that game than
It's true.
they had to buy it.
Yeah, some games it works for, some games it doesn't. Yeah, Rocket League is an example of that, and I think if you're lucky, you're Rocket League. If you're not, you're not. But Rocket League did have the benefit of being a very simple idea.
And Rocket League was a Plus game as well, which helped a bit.
So I mean, yeah, that's why it was a good gamble to put that on Plus. Without that, I don't think it would have been as big as it got.
No.
Whereas for Drawn to Death, it came out several years later at the wrong time for what it was.
People
Now
only
it's a
have a
long-
certain amount of time in a day. So
Little things Sony have put out over the years that have just died quietly, and it's kind of a shame in that regard. But that with say
there's another
Microsoft,
game that
Really, Nintendo, they don't put out. They put out a tier of games. Microsoft put out a tier of games, and that's it. At Sony, you have to say they put out about 3 or 4 tiers. Yeah, not all of them are going to be remembered as classics, but they're not afraid to
children.
of the Fat Princess Adventures game, which was it was fun, it was good throwaway fun, but it's a D tier game in terms of cost and development and exposure. Good because it means that you can try a few different things like that and have different experiences. Yes, like I said, they won't all be remembered, but hey, it's a healthy library then. One of those games could be a hit. The Rocket League isn't an exclusive game. Because it had that backing from Sony, a vital point.
Yep. Is everyone done with the news then?
I think so. I'm newsed out.
Well, to listen to the rest of the podcast, you should go buy Tortino pizza rolls. It's the only way to unlock the DLC XP bonus.
Damn, you didn't tell me we got sponsored?
Ben is just making up sponsors.
I'm sorry, I had to end it with this news story. The fact that you could get weapons in Assassin's Creed Odyssey by buying Totino rolls.
It's like the worst pizza.
And not only that, but thanks to the great Jim Sterling, you go check him out YouTube, Jim Sterling. I found out you can also get an exclusive weapon if you buy a 120 pack at Walmart.
Oh.
My God.
So you too can enjoy your medieval Greek experience with your pizza rolls with Tortinos. Go check them out.
Better cheese or something. I don't know.
Ben, you didn't need to continue. As soon as Gary said those are the worst pizza rolls, we just lost the sponsorship. You didn't even need to say it. Gary said that, boom, gone already.
Yeah, but at least they won't sue us. Maybe, hopefully.
You think.
Go check them out at some place that don't exist here because we don't have them.
You guys don't have Totinos? Damn.
I don't think. Do we? Do we? No. Do we have
Maybe.
Totinos? I don't.
If we
know.
do, it's nowhere I look. That's for sure.
I'll be honest. I don't like pizza, so.
Oh,
But it's,
pizza's my favorite food.
yeah, it's my wife's favorite food. She's just nah. Yeah.
So much variety. Do whatever you want. You can put pineapple on it.
You say the same of a sandwich. You know, a sandwich is a lot nicer.
But warm and flat and gooey and
That's
cheesy
also
and round.
a sandwich.
Yeah, you could put that in the fucking microwave. You know, it's fine.
You can
But that's a
toast it.
melt. It's not a pizza.
It's a toasted sandwich. That melts. You can add cheese and
Then it's,
tomatoes and bacon.
well, then that's called a calzone.
No, it's a sandwich. It's a toasted sandwich. A toasty. Toasty!
All the news, yeah?
Yes, news. Now we can talk about what we've been playing. And because I've been playing one game, Fantasy 14, that was pretty fast. Now, Gary, what have you been playing?
No bueno.
Okay, that's a good game.
I can't tell you what I've been playing.
There we go.
I'm sorry.
That was nice and fun.
Wait. I can tell you about one. I've been playing the Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition.
Ooh.
HD, I should say, on the PS4. It's the mobile game of Final Fantasy 15 that they moved to the PS4. They called it HD upgrade, and it's not. When it's far away, it's fine. When it's during cutscenes, like the background textures look like they were ripped from the PlayStation 1, and it looked really bad.
I kind of want this version now.
I'll say this: if you want to just play the story of 15, this is the version to get. The story here is presented a lot better and more cohesively because it's more linear. There's nothing open worldly to distract you and you get lost in it. They kind of kept the mechanics of the core game intact pretty well. Just run in and get himself killed in this game like he did in 15. And the upgrading system now works for all characters, so it's not like an individual thing. So like you just get AP points after you complete a mission because there aren't any campgrounds to go to in the game. So you pretty much level up after you finish each mission. And yeah, and then you just use those AP points to, upgrade stuff. Like you're not going to get like different special moves that each character can do. They can really only do one, like your teammate moves and stuff like that. So it's all on a smaller scale, but I was incredibly impressed with how they kept a lot of the big moments of the game intact. Like, the whole train sequence is in there. The Leviathan fight is in there. The battle against Titan is in there. Job at recreating moments of 15.
You make it sound like this is the version that I wanted to play.
In a way it is, dude. In a way it is, man. I'm telling you.
You think it'd be Gary, okay, you know my feelings on 15. Would it be, if I wanted to enjoy the story fully for 15, then this is the one you would recommend that I play?
Yeah. I think this is the version to get if you want to just experience the story. The only thing that sucks with this one is you don't get the DLC stories for Prompto, Gladio, and Ignis, but that's okay because the only one that really matters is the Ignis story. And if you do have Final Fantasy 15, the core game, and you're thinking about the DLC, I'm telling you right now, just get the Ignis DLC because one, it's actually really good, and two, it explains a lot of stuff that you probably have a lot of questions about. The biggest one is how Ignis goes blind, and it's actually one of the coolest moments, I think, in the entirety of the story, actually. And it also has an alternate ending to the core Final Fantasy 15 storyline as well, if you want to go with that one.
And now is the Ignis
which is
one the
pretty
one
cool.
that also has Arden's backstory?
It actually talks a lot about Arden and his past a little bit in there too. It actually makes you very sympathetic to his character in that one. But Revis is in there, so you get a lot more story of Revis and like his love for Lunafreya, his sister, and what exactly causes him to betray the Empire as well. So you learn about that, which is really cool.
See,
But it's a great DLC.
That's fantastic. It's great. Why wasn't it in the core game?
Yeah, it's like the whole thing takes place in that city right before, like during the Leviathan situation is happening. You know, when they all split up. Yeah. It just takes place. It shows you Ignis's thing, and it's pretty cool. It shows you that, like, it pretty much solidifies Ignis as, in my opinion, the true best boy, because Ignis. What he did.
Prompto.
Oh my god. No, once you find out what he did for Noctis that you don't know in the core game, it's fucking heartbreaking to see what he went through just to be able to help Noctis. Like, it's really sad that it wasn't in the core game. It really is. Yeah, but yeah, Pocket Edition, it's fun. It's a fun little game. It's longer than I thought it was going to be. I thought I was just going to breeze through it, but it took a good probably 15 hours to get through all of it. Little side quests and stuff like that. It's all fully voice acted as well, which is pretty cool.
How much is it? Free?
I think it's $20.
Boo. Oh well.
Chris,
Yeah.
what have you been
The other
playing?
stuff though, I can't
Sorry.
talk about. No, I was just going to say the other stuff I can't talk about.
Okay. Chris,
Like always, Gary, keeping us in suspense. Yes, Ben.
what have you been playing?
I have been playing Neo, as I have
Neo?
stated earlier.
Oh,
Neil's like, what? I played you like a fiddle.
How do the controls work when playing him? Is it inverted?
I only play inverted, so yes.
yeah, inverted.
I lost my headset. No, yeah, I just been playing Neo. I got it from a very dear friend as a Christmas present, and I've finally been able to, and this was like 2 years ago, I have finally been able to get around to it because, well, it's the only thing I can stomach right now. Nothing else sounds fun. I just can't play anything else. That's the only thing that's kind of grabbed my attention, so probably won't be doing any reviews for a while either. I just kind of want to play some games that I've been wanting to get around to, like this and Horizon Zero Dawn. I was able to get, and they're both been calling my name, so I'm just going to enjoy some blockbusters that I missed out on when they first came out for a while. And so far, Neo is amazing. If you haven't played it, people, check it out.
What's your main weapon of choice, man?
Ooh, you know what? I'm actually getting really good with all of them, but during the alphas and betas, I was mainly an axe sledgehammer guy. I love the bigger, I love the bulky movements and the heavier armor because I got good in them, so I got better at timing the dodges right with them. But my main weapon is actually, you're going to laugh, Gary, because it's the spear. And I've got...
That was my weapon.
Yeah, I know, and I love the spear. For some reason I didn't like it during the beta and the alpha, but it grew on me now that I'm playing the actual game, and so it's mainly the spear and the axe, of course, I use as my brute force backup. But yeah, goddamn.
My two were the spear and the ball and chain weapon. I don't know what it's called.
The Kasarigama. Yeah, that thing's badass, dude. I like the combo.
Yeah, I fucking love
you
that
can
thing.
pull off with it. Such a great samurai game. So good.
Can't wait for the sequel.
Mm-hmm. But that's it.
How about Neil? We haven't seen you for ages.
Hey, yeah. I know, yes. And you think they have a great list of games, and you'd be right. But I'm not going to say them all because most of them aren't relevant, so it's fine. Interesting ones. Survival horror series have had of things come up where I thought, well, I'll have to write an article about this, that, or the other when the time comes. So I'll replay this game or that game. One which an article went up today, I'm bloody disgusting. If you want to look at it, was a look at Silent Hill Homecoming, which turns 10 today. And yeah, it is honestly a very underappreciated game in the series. I find it. It's yes, we know it was obviously during that period of time where everything went to the West in development terms and that sort of thing. But yeah, it's probably the most Silent Hill-like of those games. I think, yeah, much I readily admit I have a soft spot for Downpour, which a lot of people a lot of people fucking hate it, I know, but I understand why, because it does have a lot of lazy elements to it. But Homecoming, because it celebrates a lot of what came before to it, like, the dialogue tree stuff was new for them, which, hadn't really been in a survival horror at that point. That was like a brand new thing, and it affected your choices. Yes, not as subtle as Silent Hill 2's, pick this item up and you'll get ending 612 sort of thing. But it would have helped the series to be that sort of balanced thing, I think, of having something that appreciated more for a Western audience that was in a growing market at the time. 2008, the video games market was just exploding. You can see why companies were trying to appeal. That's where the money was. And if you could grow a series like that, was great. But both Silent Hill and Resident Evil went too far, with that, and started doing stupid things with it and just getting lazy, really.
Yep. And
yeah, it's fine. You do whatever you want with this franchise. We're not going to do anything about it. Blah blah blah. I mean, this game, at least it has the soundtrack, of course, by Mocha. So that's still very Silent Hill-esque as well. And Pyramid Head in there still, if you want it. And I think overall it's been, but I think given the backstory in this game was more about how history kind of bleeds into the history of Silent Hill itself and his own town, and his whole revelations that come from that later on, about what he really is and who he really is. It's one of the better plots in that regard. So I'd say out of the games after the first 3 games, without a shadow of that.
What are you talking about, Chris? You hated it because you couldn't change the inversion. That's all I heard is you screaming and complaining because you couldn't play the game inverted.
No, so Gary is absolutely right. My biggest gripe with Homecoming was the fact that I could not change the Y look inversion, and it really made, I just can't. I can't do it. It's the same. For me, it's the same if you tried to play on inverted, Gary. Your brain, you've been playing games for so long. I played inverted my whole life. And then I get in there, and it was a huge struggle for me to be able to play and look correctly, when especially, there's a part where you're in a sewer and you get attacked by, the hammerhead monster-looking things that they look like a giant glaive on the top of their head, and then they split open and they have razor-sharp scissor teeth that they. Anyways, 2 of those attack you in the sewer, and all you have is a goddamn fire axe to try and stop them. It's about early in the game, a third of the way through. And I just kept dying. Because I kept on, they implemented that this guy is a former combat veteran and that he can dodge. So Silent Hill finally has a dodge mechanic. But I suck at it because I keep looking up or all the way down, and I just keep getting killed. In a way, it actually added to the terror of the game. But no, I loved Homecoming. Homecoming, to me, had some of the best enemy designs since 2. and I thought, and it was pretty, it was gritty, it was detailed. I thought I agree with Neil. It had kind of this great story and how Silent Hill tied in with the main character. It was so good. And also, Neil, I agree with you. I loved Downpour. I have a real soft spot for that one too. My only fault I had with Downpour were the lack of enemy designs, especially after how awesome and varied they were in Homecoming, and then they just kind of got lazy with the enemy designs in Downpour. But everything else I liked. So yeah,
it could have been, but at that point, Konami just didn't care.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
I also very much enjoyed Homecoming. I thought it was a very good Silent Hill game. The best one since, well, I did enjoy 3. I absolutely despised 4.
The Room.
That's the last Japanese one as well, which is like...
It was done by the same guys who did 2. That's what blew my mind. Like, how do you go from 2 and then completely destroy the franchise with 4?
I didn't mind 4. It was... Once you really got into it and you were able to make a couple playthroughs, things made kind of their own weird sense. It's the fucking ghosts, man. The unkillable ghosts that you can only pin down with the rare swords. And for the entire first half of the game, you're pretty much running away from everything except for dogs. Yeah, that kind of ruined the first bit of the experience. It turned a lot of people away, and that was their big mistake on it, and that it wasn't a mechanic that worked well.
That's why they had to move to a Western developer, because you guys have done all you can, clearly, and it's not working anymore. The sales reflected that clearly, and yet Origins didn't really do much better in that regard. But Homecoming just
was fun though.
It's fun. It was
Origins,
not for a Silent Hill game. And I think where Homecoming
it was very much like the first one.
Or Origins, it was a handheld game, so
yeah, PSP.
you're limited to what you can do. But obviously, they ported it to the PS2 later. But
I think it was all right. It's a shame that it didn't quite get to move on. But Homecoming is that game that sort of moved on and took a few of the ideas from that and improved upon it, and just made it better. This is a problem with a lot of games during this period. People will look back and say, "Oh, they did this because they wanted to get more people to play it." It's like, is that such a bad thing? I know some games really did take it too far, and I'll get to one of them in a minute.
Wait, games want people to buy them. I didn't know that.
No, games just want to be played. It's the greedy publishers and developers that want people to buy the games.
But still, I didn't know that. That's news.
I think this was the perfect balance of giving people Silent Hill accessible to a wider audience, which is fine, absolutely fine. I'm glad for it, and now I'm probably less peeved about it than I was. But you can see it in retrospect why it at the time and why now it should be better appreciated. I've seen certain comments already where people just like, at best it was average. At best it was average. So fine if you think that. I guarantee it's because you haven't played it since 2008, where you were still very angry.
I would be more than happy to play that game again. Like I always have an urge to play Silent Hill, and like if they release that on PlayStation now, I will definitely play it right away. I
had to go and unearth a PS3 copy and settle that up again, because the only other alternative was to buy an Xbox and get the backwards compatibility. But I'd rather go for setting up my PS3 again.
Now, what does that say? A gamer would rather do 2 seconds of manual labor than buy an Xbox. That's your legacy, Microsoft. Just so you know.
The other style horror game it's not really an important anniversary, it just happens to be 60 years since it came out this year, but next week I think, is Resident Evil 6, which is the first time I've gone back to it since it came out, and I despaired and wailed and wanted to hit things. Leon campaign though this time, to make sure, because it is the most Resident Evil part of that game.
Capcom, can we get another just like Leon-based Resident Evil game? I like Leon. Bring him back, please.
It's called Resident Evil 2 Remake, dumbass. What's wrong with you? I love you, Chris.
That's not really what I meant, but you are correct. I meant like a continuation of Leon's story after 6, what's just a Leon-focused game like 4 was, but, because that campaign was fun. But Gary, I feel there's this communication barrier between Gary and I. I think everybody else knows what I mean, and he just assumes I'm dumb or something.
Continue, Neil.
Not even anything. I love it. Yeah. No, Resident Evil 6 is... Leon's campaign was fucking great. I loved it, and then the rest of it just killed. I actually have had the privilege of listening to... Tim couldn't make the podcast today, but I've listened to Tim and Gary play Resident Evil 6 co-op, like, while I've been in the party with them, doing my own thing. And, oh boy, they are fun to listen to. You guys need to stream you two playing Resident Evil 6, because it is some of the funniest shit I have ever heard in my life. The rage that Gary just is consumed with when Tim doesn't heal him properly. That's what I don't know, dude. It's so fun listening to you two. But yeah, Neil, what were your feelings on Resident Evil 6, Neil? I'm curious to
I loved
know
it.
where you stand on it.
I loved it, and I kind of dreaded playing it, but I thought I could do something around the fact that about the Leon story and the comparison between. And it isn't until you finish that Leon story and then say take on Chris and Pierre's story, it is quite how bloody different it is. Because I played through Leon's story and thought, did I really come across too harsh on this game? Because this was all right. Oh yes, it's not the greatest Resident Evil thing, but there's bits in it that just feel so pure and almost Resident Evil 2/4 stuff for Leon, But I mean, at the end, it just devolves into classic Resident Evil 5 era bullshit. But it's a while, and the story's pish tosh. But don't worry about that. In a way that the earlier games were, where it's like a kind of cheesy melodrama. That here it's like, no, we're honestly totally serious about how serious everything is in this game. Needless friction between Chris and Leon, and it's going to be completely meaningless in the context of the entire thing. And then we're just going to recreate the plane bit from Code Veronica, and it's going to be shit. Yeah, there's moments like that. And then you get to, obviously, the other stories sort of cross paths with each other, and the Chris game is just like a completely different game. It is pretty much like a shooter that just happens to have monsters in it. And it's striking how there's not even a hint of it being a horror game in that regard. It's the monster design. You see most of the monsters at that point, so it's like, okay, no surprise there. And it's a shame in that regard. And it just gets messier and messier when you get to the Jake and Sherry stuff. And
you're talking about the interaction between Chris and Leon. I got super pissed about the interaction between Chris and Jake. You killed my father. Oh, I kind of had to. Yes, I killed your father. Come on. Nobody talks like this in real life.
But mate, you do know your dad was an utter fucking tool.
Yes.
You killed my father. You killed my brother. Now I kill you.
It's just the dialogue in there was terrible.
The fact that they didn't have Chris say, turn around and go, look, mate, to be fair, I had to punch a fucking boulder, and that didn't... I him on a fucking volcano. I think I was well within my rights to kill him.
Yep. Like, dude, I'm sorry, your dad was trying to kill me and also destroy the entire human race. I had to put the bitch down. Like, what do you want to do here?
He looked at me a little funny.
Fucking Jake. Poor. Yeah, but it's just marvellous how they've managed to turn that series around since then. But yeah,
No.
I'm a little now than I probably would have been, because I still think that Leon story is enjoyable. It's like, I wouldn't say it's mind-blowing. It's not like even up there with the best Resi games or anything, but it's a nice stab of nostalgia for a bit before you can just do like before you can do what's the move, bulldog. You can basically bulldog zombies into the ground.
Yes.
Then you're like, yeah, this isn't that Resident Evil. Never mind.
This is Dead Rising Resident Evil.
No matter how good Leon's campaign can be, always on the periphery is just something about the overall designs just sort of barges in, not like a drunk party people. And
It really is the biggest shock for me is what you touched on, where you're going through with Leon's campaign, and then you get to Chris's campaign and Jake's campaign, and they feel like completely different games. It's almost like they had 3 different studios working on all the 3 different campaigns. It was just weird. It was kind of jarring. I didn't like it. Leon's campaign, yeah, enjoyable. Gary, you're the one that got me to play 6. You're the one that accidentally bought it. What can you say about Capcom or Resident Evil 6's, what was it, Neil? 6th anniversary? 10th? 10th, whatever. This week. Yes.
I specifically remember telling you, because you're like, I want to play 6. I'm going to get it and play 6. And I'm like, Chris, only play Leon's campaign and don't play the rest of it. I remember telling you this multiple times. And you finished Leon's campaign, and then you went on to the other ones. And I remember getting a text from you saying, wow, Gary, you were absolutely right. I should have stopped at Leon's campaign.
Oh, dude, I think you framed that text and hung it up in your room for the time that I wrote, Gary, you were absolutely right. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah. The best comparison between the campaigns is to say that survival, the rest of it is war. You know, it's that big a contrast between them. Important. Leon's is survival in a horror game, therefore the most like Resident Evil. The rest is Call of Duty in third person.
Yeah, and then there's Ada's campaign as well, which was just fucking crazy ridiculous. But yeah, 6 was a weird beast. Like, the thing about 6 is, surprisingly to me, I think Resident Evil 6 is graphically still one of the best looking games out there. Surprised at how well that game has held up graphically. Even 5 still looks pretty fucking amazing. And I love the body damage that the zombies went through in that game. Like, there's a lot of stuff 6 did that I did enjoy. Like the great set pieces that it had. But obviously there's stuff like trying to recreate Nemesis with whatever the fuck that thing was that was chasing Jake around. Like, I felt like a lot of the time 6 was just trying to recreate the best moments of the entire franchise, and it failed in more than
in Leon's campaign, where they go on a plane and they do the whole tyrant on a plane bit from Code Veronica with a shitter enemy, and it's so underwhelming for what it should be. And it's like, it's a shame.
And that's why, again, why I say like Leon's campaign, like, if you're gonna play 6, just play that one. Like, sure, you won't get the full story, but you'll get so much more enjoyment out of it. Like the university part, it's dark, it's scary, it's more survival horror that way. And like 6 just put you, or Leon's campaign put you in a lot of scenarios that I really enjoyed. Like, sure, the plane part, like you mentioned, like, I like the fact that I'm fighting off zombies on the plane up until you get, to that crazy-ass boss, which just irritated me. But, the parts where you're on the train, I thought were really cool. And, when the city gets, attacked by the virus, and then you're trying to run away, and, like, there's just zombies everywhere. Like, you're essentially playing, like, an outbreak as it's happening, like World War Z outbreak as it's happening. And I thought that was pretty cool. But, it's something I've always said with Resident Evil, where as far as the story goes, killing off Umbrella was the worst thing they could have done. They killed them off. All they've done is try to recreate a company that's just like them.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah.
And then, well, I won't spoil it for those who haven't played 7.
Yeah, and, it's just one of those things, like, what was the point? If you're going to kill them and then you're just going to introduce more companies doing the same thing. Like, yeah. But
a pointless refresh. It's ironically, they were chasing the Western dollar again with that one. They did a very Western thing of just the same as last time, but slapping a different name on it in this turn. It's like, oh, the enemies are the Soviets. Oh no, the enemies are the Koreans. Here it's like, oh, the enemy is Umbrella. Now it's a different company that are also the same thing, but
Tricell or whatever. Yeah, it's always something, and it's like the fact that in 6 when you're starting off Leon's campaign and you're pretty much in this rundown city. It's like, so you're telling me like terrorists can easily just get these weapons now? Still can't get nuclear weapons, but bioweapons is so much easier for them.
Oh, dude, I can get bioweapons from my grocery store. Aisle 7 right under potato chips.
Yeah, and like bioweapons that do things like that. It's like how like I played 6 and I'm just like, how is the world?
Their world's fucked.
They have the BSAA, right? But like you would think like the governments of the world would realize just how bad something like this is, because it's pretty much a world killer. You'll try to stop it, but instead they're just like, oh, it's just another, cell, whatever.
I think at this point, Resident Evil's probably the government not listening and just doing the stupid thing anyway. It's pretty much becoming life, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was hoping that 7 would be the last of it, and then they'd go for a reboot. But
they kind of did.
It is kind of
well. It's still a continuation of the story, and it's going to continue after that to whatever it's going to become. So,
to be fair, in 7 they made it the background of the story. It wasn't like every other word is like, let's talk about this organization again for the 90th time this conversation.
I think that's why it worked so well, or one of the reasons why, is I didn't feel like I was being, harped that there was some big evil corporation, and I had to stop it. It felt more like the first one where you're like, what the fuck is going on?
Shit to deal with here, now. Don't be worrying about who's behind it, because, to be honest, you've got to survive first. And that is exactly why it nails that original feeling. Because it's in the name, Resident Evil. It's what's in front of you. The thing that's most danger, not the thing in government or in some corporation.
Yeah, the big evil shadow entity. It's the person in the next room over you trying to kill you.
Other games. 2 now. Destiny 2 is shite. That's what I'm going to say about that. It's dull rubbish, and I don't really want to do more on that, to be honest. I started playing Fire Pro Wrestling because that actually finally came out over here. Having to wait a month was stupid, but here we are. And yeah, that's been good fun. I can't really say a lot on it, but you definitely get into it a lot. A few matches, you sort of learn how it works, and you can't just go smashing buttons and ramming in and stuff. You've got to pace the match properly so you don't knock yourself out. And it's nice to play a wrestling game again that's actually concentrating on making the matches little shows and choreographing it that way. I'm really glad at that. And plus, you can download the shit out of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in there if you want. So it's I'll have a quick look. I'm sure there's something else. He's always ready.
Well, that was a nice break for me. I ate biscuits and listened to you talk.
I'm glad to hear it.
My body is always ready.
Yeah, I can't really talk about anything else to play because it's on the Switch or PC. I've moved to a lot of PC stuff because of reviews recently. So
damn you, Aaron! I mean Neil.
Yeah. So, Dead Cells, very good.
I really want to play that game.
Yes, I'm playing on.
Gary, we're probably going to have to give your game a miss this week.
I'm sad face right now.
It's a shame because I was looking forward to it, actually, but we're at an hour and a half and it's time for the anime podcast. So, I can't believe how much we've covered in this short amount of time. This long, yeah. This is one of our longest podcasts for a while.
Yeah, it must be me.
We missed you, Neil. We missed you.
Immensely.
And we missed Chris as well. You know.
Yes, I have been gone, so we all haven't spoken in a while, and got a lot of catching up to do.
So, Neil, I heard they can find you at Bloody Disgusting, but, maybe tell them how they can find you at Bloody Disgusting.
Oh, man, I actually have to be professional with this shit now.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. It's like, yeah, you're on my podcast for the website we're on already. But no, yeah. It's yeah, I am indeed the video games at Bloody Disgusting, which is of course a horror site first and foremost, where I had lots of lovely articles and features from lots of lovely talented writers in the last few weeks. And it's been a great time, and we've started doing reviews. Ain't that something? You can of course find me at Nezko, Nezzko, be a PR person, or you just want to write something for the site. You can find me on there and find my email address on there as well, which is Neil at bloody-disgusting.com. So there you go.
Gary, how can they stalk you?
You can stalk me at Gagwalush on Twitter and Instagram. That's GAGLAUSH.
Any shout-outs?
Shout-outs obviously to you guys. Neil, welcome back for this week. Hopefully you'll be back more often. Shout-outs to Tim, who wasn't able to join us. Friends, family. Shout-out to my boy Ed, who's constantly listening to the podcast.
Hello, Ed.
And yay. And once again, I will say, for his benefit, that Titanfall 2 is the best shooter of the generation.
Neil and me can confirm that.
And me.
And Chris. Chris,
Yes.
have you got any
I guess
shout-outs?
shout-outs. Friends, fans, family, if you'd like to see the weird shit that I retweet, it's not really weird, but I'm into some fun things. You can find me. Some of it is.
It's weird.
No, it's not. I don't retweet those.
Okay.
They can find me on Twitter at Devangel. That's DEVANGIEL. And shout out to Fonzie, who it looks like will be on the anime cast today. I'm looking forward to talking to him again. Shout out to Tim, wherever you are. Come back to me. I need to nuzzle you. Shout outs to you guys. I've missed you all so much. And Neil, it's awesome to talk to you again. You were well missed. And I hope that you come back, but keep your appearances to cameos. You're more like Q now in Next Generation. You come in, sow a little chaos, leave for a season, then come back.
Like the waitress in Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yes.
I'm just here to spice shit up and make the plot go crazy.
That's it.
He's like Castiel as the pizza boy.
Ooh, now that inspired some very, very intense fan fiction, I might add.
Oh my god!
And Neil dressed as Castiel delivering pizza is the new plot for the new porn I'm directing. As a matter of fact,
Oh my god!
it just
I
came to
don't
me.
have the money for it. Oh, you paid on card anyway.
It's
Oh,
okay.
sorry.
Nobody pays for porn anymore.
No, I'm talking about the pizza. The story. The pizza delivery guy comes up.
Yeah. Oh my god!
No, you've got a starring role in it, Ben.
Yes, that's why I've got the early script.
You're the pool cleaning guy.
Okay, sweet.
He's the babysitter, dude. What are you talking about?
That's good.
Maybe in the end, he's the pool cleaning guy. He's cleaning it out. He just fishes out like a slice of pizza. Goes, who the fuck is that?
What are you people doing back here? Like takes his job super serious.
Just pick up and go. Oh, it's the Tino pizza rolls. They're playing Assassin's Creed.
Oh no!
Online advertisements. I don't know.
So we finished. I want to do shout outs to Maelstrom Radio, twitch.tv/Maelstrom Radio. I was on their show recently last Friday. Go check them out. A shout out to She Heals I Tank at twitch.tv/She Heals I Tank. A shout out to everyone that's listening. Shout out to Klaus, Phoenix Down Radio. We recorded last night with Brian from Work to Game, which I was also on recently at YouTube Work to Game. I'd like to shout out to everyone that listens. And you can follow me at Chili UK on Twitter, which is CHILLE UK. Remember, you can email me about anything you want to do about the podcast. If you want to appear on the podcast, or just want to give us an email saying that, my God, Chili, you suck, get Neil back, then email me at ben.shillbithall@psu.com. But of course, I'll wrap up what we learned today, because I feel like that's what deserved. We learned that today you should eat tortilla rolls while being attacked by zombies on the plane, as Donnie's video should be Pikachu and Detective Pikachu. Because we've learned a lot of things today, and those were the most of it. And the classic PlayStation is awesome. So until next week, just come back next week, I guess. Bye.